Большое спасибо. Я прежде всего хотел бы присоединиться
Thank you. First of all, I would like to join all the words of gratitude
Кыргызстана
to
и
the
поблагодарить
president of Kyrgyzstan and to thank all our Kyrgyz friends for the work that they've done
Евразийского
as
экономического союза.
presidents of Eurasian
В этом году
Economic
наше
Union.
интеграционное объединение работало эффективно
This year,
и
our
продолжало
integrational
последовательно развиваться. В условиях
union did
волатильности
very efficient
глобальных
work. It
рынков
continued
и
to grow
неблагоприятной
consistently
мировой
under
политической
the
конъюнктуры
circumstances of
крупные
volatility, of
евразэсы были
turbulency of the global
предприняты
markets,
своевременные и
and
эффективные,
unfavorable
позволяющие не только
situation
стабилизировать
in
макроэкономическую
the
ситуацию
world.
нашей страны, но и
Our
добиться
union
улучшения
made all
целого
the
ряда
efforts not only to
важнейших
stabilize
экономических значимых
macroeconomic situation in our country, but
стимулировать
also
рост ключевых
our
отраслей
countries, but to
экономики, а
improve
также
in a lot of
оказать
areas.
поддержку сложившимся
We
на
managed to
пространстве
make the key
постсоветского
industries to grow and to
В
support
частности, уровень безработицы
the
в
ties,
июне
to strengthen the ties in our
2022
union.
года
The unemployment rate
и
in the
сократился
9 months of
для государств
2022
Евразес
decreased,
очень прилично, очень заметно, на
and it
18%.
significantly decreased in the states of our union by 18% and is slightly more than 1%, 1.1% out of the total amount of the workforce. I would like to draw your attention to the fact that unemployment rate is one of the key indicators of the state of the economy, and it is 7 times smaller than in the European Union. We have increased our farming capacities by 5.4%, which is very good, significant growth, which is especially so more important, and Mr. Lukashenko mentioned it, against the background amid, unfortunately, growing food crisis, global food crisis. And Mr. Pashinyan also mentioned that we have agreed on indicative balances, so we had evened out all our demands, and this growth, 5.4% under the current conditions, is a very good indicator. Construction projects are also development projects that are growing by 7.9%, which is also a very good figure, because construction also has a lot of other industries, and the investment level reached 6.6% growth in this area, which is also a very good number. And we keep other macroeconomical indicators at a very good level, including the inflation. Mr. Tokayev said that the inflation in the world is growing, which destabilizes global economy, but we are keeping this parameter, this indicator at bay, under our control. For example, in Russia, this year, the budget deficit would be 2%. Next year, we plan 2% as well. In 2024, it will be 1.4. In 2025, it will be 0.7. And I'm confident we will achieve this. As for the deficits this year, for our economy, it would be acceptable, 12.2. Next, we expect for the next quarter to reach 5%, maybe even lower. Obviously, the inflation is decreasing, and for all our countries, it is significant because macroeconomic indicators in the Russian economy, in one way or another, they affect all the economies of all your countries. And we know that in Europe, it has the largest indicators over the last 30, 40 years. The inflation is in double digits. In some EU countries, it reaches 20 and more percent, which is exorbitant numbers. Incidentally, as for the economic growth in general, we were predicted that our economy will collapse by more than 20%, but the decrease at 2.9%. Next year it will be 0.9%, and then after that we will continue to grow. All essential commodities have uninterrupted trade flow within the Eurasian Economic Union, and I have already talked about food, but it also includes energy. In this regard, I should say that tariffs, prices for energy in Eurasian Economic Union countries are drastically different from the tariffs that our neighbors from the West have. For example, looking at gas in the West, it's 10 and more times, not just some percent, but 10 and more times more expensive. And it dictates the conditions for the economic development in our zone. This year, our union made a number of decisions to lift custom and administrative barriers. I can help but agree with Mr. Lukashenko, who said that we need to be more efficient in eliminating these barriers. Yes, that's true, because they are an obstacle to the free trade among our countries, and we should work on that more efficiently, but we expedited our work on transferring to the settlements in national currencies the process of creating one common payment system and integration of national systems of the financial information transfer. Our 5 countries are cooperating closely in logistics. Mutual cargo flow is also growing, which is helped and assisted by the increased throughput capacity at the border crossings, but still there is a lot to be done. But within the EU, we are implementing a number of integrational infrastructure projects that are aimed at the creation of efficient international corridors, east-west and north-south. And I would like to say that there are a lot of countries that are interested, that are showing interest, and who want to join this project and to invest along with us into this effort. And the member states of the Union continue to successfully develop mutually beneficial industrial cooperation. Today, we are going to establish a new funding mechanism. It will allow us to subsidize promising mutual joint projects, in particular to have import substitution manufacturing, and we are going to cooperate more closely in energy. After today's meeting, we are going to make a decision to appoint an official for the energy cooperation. In the narrow format meeting, we talked frankly, openly. I think we all reached a common understanding, and we will continue to develop these plans. Russia supports the establishment of such a coordinating body that I just mentioned that is going to deal with the matters for the long-term development and allow our economies to get all the necessary resources. We have plans to do that, and we will strive to implement them. Colleagues, next year, the presidency, as you mentioned, in the Eurasian Economic Union will be taken over by the Russian Federation. Allow me, in general terms, to tell you about the priorities that we plan for our work. First, we need to update the strategic priorities. The current basic document for the economic integration is aimed at the period of up until 2025, and we need to start preparing new strategic documents that will set priorities of further cooperation for the long-term and mid-term development. One of such vectors, one of such directions could be the enhancing of technological sovereignty of our countries and creation of common innovation in industrial base in the key industrial and economic areas. In the narrow format meeting, we discussed this matter, and I would like to draw your attention to what the president of Belarus said. Our cooperation is at a good level, but recently we started really positive work on some essential, some key areas of cooperation. I'm confident that this work will become even bigger in our organization in general. We will continue to make every effort to enhance information technology and electronic document flow, exchange of the custom information between the relevant departments of our countries, and also in the area of monitoring the commodities that are traveling within our area, because we need to stop the commodities that is not safe or of low quality. And we need to coordinate our efforts in increasing the investment cooperation to create good, mutually beneficial conditions for investment, to lift any regulatory obstacles, to simplify this work. An inherent part of such work will be the harmonization of the tax regulation within the EA-EU countries, and to achieve that, we need to introduce advanced mechanisms of tax control. And during the presidency, our presidency, we are going to deal with the matters to develop scientific, technological, and educational projects. We suggest to think about new ideas and initiatives to encourage the practice of inter-university cooperation, internships, and academic exchanges. We need to attract younger specialists and experts by the programs of student tourism to popularize communities of younger specialists in volunteering areas, in culture, in sports, in education. As we mentioned a number of times, Eurasian Economic Union and our integrational efforts attract more and more international actors and stakeholders who are interested in developing ties with our union. They are showing interest. A lot of foreign states are showing this interest. I'm not going to list them again. I agree with all the suggestions by the colleagues to expand this work with regional structures and platforms as well, such as ASEAN SCO. Russia welcomes the development of such ties and will continue to expand the range of preferential and non-preferential agreements with the foreign partners. And in conclusion, I would like to express my confidence that the next year the EA-EU countries will continue to cooperate as close, as constructively as during the Kyrgyz presidency. We will be happy to see you at the next regular meeting of the Supreme Council of the Eurasian Economic Union at the forum that we plan to hold on 24th, 25th of May 2023. And as we agreed previously, the location of this summit we will define later. And of course, out of scope of our today's agenda, I would like to remind you that we are looking forward to the meeting of the CIS head of state in St. Petersburg before the new year.
Благодарю за внимание.